iconic houses which help shape and inspire Dior, the house that we all know and love today. I hope you're all nice and full up from your breakfast still, because what you're about to see is extremely delicious, and I have to ask you please refrain from eating or touching any of the exhibition. So without further ado, I welcome you all to the fabulous world of Dior. Set on this house that opened its first boutique, so that's exactly what he did. It started off as one house, it did then become the rest of the avenue. If you'd like to follow after me this way,
Colour palette that Dior believed in. From Dior grey to lilac to rose red, his favourite colour. For you to try on. They're all archived pieces and they're not available to buy or purchase anywhere in the world. Each one is available to try in our women's, men's or universes in Harrods Dior. I myself have tried the women's bar jacket on, and I kid you not, it changes the way you stand, it changes your posture, but most importantly, it changes the way you feel. And last but not least, one of the most celebrated pieces that is just making its way down on the Atelier. This is the Lady Dior handbag. Of course, this is the mini version of the Lady Dior. Don't worry, it'll be making its way up as well. But originally when it was released, it was called Chouchou, which means my darling or my dear in French. But in 1996, when Princess Diana visited the boutique in Paris, privately of course, she said that she bought the bag in every single colour that it came in, twice, as a princess does. So in 1996, with her permission of course, Dior changed the name from Chouchou to the Lady D or the Lady Dior. You'll notice that the Lady Dior has a certain number of lucky charms in the D-I-O-R lettering. This is because Christian Dior, being the superstitious man that he was, carried with him in his pocket a brace of lucky charms. They included lily of the valley and even a piece of wood, as the saying goes, to touch wood. It's in his favourite colour, which is rose red, which he deemed as the colour of success. So much so that he would count how successful a fashion show had been by counting how many red lipstick marks he had on each cheek from all the kisses that he'd receive at the end of a night. When you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be making our way to our second section, where he spent his final years of retirement in a place where he focused on his love for the world and the art of fragrance. Every single fragrance he created during his time here is represented as a rose ballerina, with the prima ballerina being, of course, the Miss Dior fragrance. La Col Noir was an actual palace. It was reconverted straight into the home of the dreams, with gardens surrounding the entire property, with plants and flowers from all over the world. He was a man who loved to entertain his guests, and he was inspired by stories of princes and princesses attending royal balls and events. So Christian Dior, during his time in La Col Noir, would have guests over almost every single night. And at the end of dinner and drinks, he would lead them up a very narrow staircase to a viewing platform for a view of fireworks and the stars every single night. So much so that the villagers of La Col Noir knew exactly what time the fireworks would go on every single night, for their own private show. On display in La Col Noir is the 1950s original Miss Dior couture from the Couture collection. There's a saying in Dior that once a couture piece is completed, the only person that should touch that dress is the owner of that dress, miniature or full size. So this dress has come to us in a glass box, and it shall return to its original owner in a glass box. The name Miss Dior comes from his sister. His sister fought in the French resistance as a radio telecommunicator and was even taken to a women's only concentration camp for a number of years. One day, Christian Dior was waiting at the bottom of a staircase with his assistant. They were waiting for his sister to arrive, and she was late as she always was. When she finally arrived at the top of the staircase wearing a beautiful dress, his assistant remarked, "Ah, Miss Dior, you have finally arrived." And Christian Dior, being the focused man that he was, pulled out his notebook and wrote down the words while looking at his sister, Miss Dior, and named an entire range from fragrances to dresses to small leather goods as the Miss Dior collection. You'll notice right down below that there is a small dog revolving around, one in its gingerbread form and one in the form of a perfume bottle. This is Bobby the dog. When he was a child, he had a childhood pet called Bobby. Later on through his life, he had 3 more dogs, and he named them all Bobby the dog. Last but not least, on the very far side of La Col Noir, you'll see Christian Dior in his favourite room in his gingerbread form, busy working away in a room that had a panoramic view to the end. You'll notice little bees bringing in petals and flowers from his garden. And when you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be making our way through our last us into the childhood of Christian Dior. This is Granville, located on the banks of Normandy, not too far away from where we stand today. This is Christian Dior's childhood home. He was born into a large family with 5 brothers and sisters, and it's said that he had one of the most happiest childhoods during his time here. He was a very shy child, and in an effort to give him confidence and increase his vocabulary, his mother would often take him hand by hand early in the morning and make him name every single flower and plant in her garden in Latin, French, and in English. If you've noticed today, most of Christian Dior's creations all take inspiration from the floral world and the natural world, and we try to hold on to those traditions today. When you make your way around, you'll notice butterflies floating through the garden, bees swimming through our ponds, and on a clear day, it's said that Christian Dior would look out into the sea, and just on the horizon, you'd see the banks of England and Britain. And last but not least, you see Christian Dior in his gingerbread form with his mother, busy watering away a flower that will one day blossom into a creation of his own. Whatever that might be, and if you do find the time today or any time during our exhibition run to visit any of our universes of Dior in Harrods and try on some of these iconic pieces which are truly a part of history. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.